any minute. We could be live right now. Who knows? But I guess we'll just proceed accordingly. So, how is it going tonight, Ishmael?
It's going, my friend. I've been super busy, as you yourself, as many of us have been. Things are just amazing these days. Things are speeding up. I love the acceleration of our
Yeah,
spiritual
we could be live right now. Who knows?
evolution.
But yeah,
Oh,
I guess we'll just
there we go.
proceed accordingly. So I gotta mute that. There we go. Um, yeah, what happened today? Because there was a lot of traffic on our site today. A lot of people booked classes today. It was like big, like one of the biggest days, at least for traffic since we first started. What, did one of your interviews drop today, or?
Yeah, an interview with Terabyte Janine.
Oh,
That
okay.
happened. So yeah, she's got a huge following. And I did talk about my class. I talk about the Mystic Arts website, and so that probably explains why we had a lot of traffic today.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta book a. I would like to book a podcast with her too, with Sarah and I, because yeah, it was definitely significant. So I saw that.
Yeah, I'll send her your information.
Awesome. Got people coming in. I'm just gonna tell them feel free to ask questions.
Zach.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you, Taylor? How you been?
Good. Yeah, really good. Just I've been like slammed. We have 1,000 things going on. I've been we're in the early stages of a TV show. I can't say much about it right now, but we're really like ramping that up and possibly doing some things with casting and just getting a lot of things going, a lot of phone calls, a lot of, yeah. So it's been great. I mean, I moved to LA for that, and without, I mean, Hollywood, anything can happen, but it looks like it's on its way to getting launched here. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. That's like a dream come true. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you mentioned this reality TV show, right?
yeah, that's exactly exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, probably can't say too much more about it at this point, but yeah, it would involve spiritual and supernatural themes. So
Nice.
that's exciting. Yeah. Anyway, people are starting to log on and see some questions. Okay, here we go. What is your take on Metatron?
All right. So apparently, I have about two to three different YouTube channels out there that are pretending to be me. I put a reel out this morning on both Instagram and Facebook just to, give you guys the warning that it isn't me. Somebody's like collecting all my interviews and putting them, in one spot. So I guess there's like two or three of those channels. The latest one called the Mystic Arts, but it's three separate words. Okay, so
Fuckers.
exactly how they bit off of our name. They bit off.
Yeah.
They put this video out, I think this morning, something about that I'm claiming that Metatron is evil. And when you actually look at the interview, I never talked about that, not even one mention of Metatron. So what these people are doing is they're actually putting, these shocking statements just to kind of get people to click on the videos and say, oh, I wonder what Ishmael has to say about Metatron. But to give you guys my opinion on Metatron, Archangel Metatron is good. I mean, he's the facilitator of the 15-dimensional time matrix that I've been talking about. You know, in the secret esoteric knowledge, he laid down the foundation for the structure of all universes. He's known as the giver of the outer lights. He works with Melchizedek. I call him the three M's, and Michael, Metatron, Melchizedek, and Michael. However, there is a different Metatron that is a totally different entity that is not related to the original Metatron. And this second Metatron is pretty much the original Archon that broke off when the initial explosion, when the one decided to explore more of itself, and then that immaculate conception expanded, or it happened. A chunk of that broke off into the void, and then that became, Lord Ahriman, or the King of the Archons. So Lord Ahriman, when he overshadowed one of the 12 archetypes, one in particular by the name of Samana, who became the original Lucifer.
Hmm.
He pretty much influenced them to develop the first AI, and this happened during the 11th creation. So, we're part of the 12th creation. So this happened in a creation prior to the existence of our universe, and so on. So what he did is he developed the AI, and in order for that pre-existing Archon consciousness to possess and use it as a vehicle, as an avatar, And then later he changed his name from Ahriman, or Archon, King of the Archons, to Omega Metatron. So yeah, that's what he calls himself, is Omega Metatron. And
Mhm.
the name Omega means the end of life, because when you think of the actual name of Metatron, Metatron, as I said earlier, is the giver of life. You know,
Right.
he's the giver of life in a sense, where he is a cosmic being, facilitator of the outer light, that allows for universes to come into structure and form. And then Omega Metatron is the one who destroys the universes. So throughout cosmic history, Omega Metatron has been known as the killer of creator gods, the killer of universes, the destroyer of universes.
Mhm.
And in the secret space program or whistleblower community, he has been identified as some sort of an AI god. But they didn't really know his name until I came into the picture and kind of filled in the blanks for these guys to reveal what his name was. But yeah, he goes by Omega Metatron. Two different entities, nothing to do
Yeah.
with the original Archangel Metatron. All right, Omega Metatron and Archangel Metatron are two separate entities.
So you
So I
heard
got
it here, folks.
that
Two
out.
separate entities.
Exactly.
Omega Metatron is from the bloodline of Lucifer and very different.
No, he's actually the incarnating Lord Ahriman, the king of the Archons, the Asuras, the
Okay.
Archon entities that rule the Draco. Because the Archons are above the Draco. It is the Archon energy that influenced Samana.
Oh, I see. So it
Yeah,
pre-exists Lucifer.
exactly.
I see. I see. Okay, so there's a lot of questions here. Can you please share more on the Sunat Kamara? Do you want to do that one?
Sure, yeah. Sunak Kamara. Well, that's another, Melchizedek. Overall, they're all part of the cosmic order of the Melchizedek branch. And Sanat Kumara he's also one of he is actually the leader of the White Brotherhood. And he was known as Lord of the Venus. He was in charge of the Venus Council. And now he's been promoted to Solar Logos. So now he's in charge of our solar system. So the Kimuras are related to pretty much the spiritual council that operates from behind the scenes. And we could actually say that the ascended masters of Shambhala, Katumi, Saint Germain, El Moria, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, they all work under the guidance of Lord Sana Kumura. So yeah, Lord Sana Kumura is also a positive entity, and he's actually now embodying the consciousness of our solar system. That's how advanced Sana Kumura is.
Wow. What is your tell us a little bit about your background in this, Ishmael, because you and I have, we teach the classes together. When I know you had a mentor that began your journey in the starseed world. That was an actual person, or was that a spirit guide?
Oh, that's another story in itself. Okay, so he wasn't. I guess he was, yeah, in a way, a mentor. He kind of just geared me in the right path in my awakening. Basically, when I was a teenager, I had a drinking issue. So I was drinking heavily for many years, and then one day at the age of 19, after drinking so much, I developed some health issues with liver stuff. I was starting to vomit and daily. I was just getting sick. So finally, my aunts. I lived with my aunts back then. My grandmas. My mother passed away at the age of 16. They actually all forced me to go to, not forced me, but in a way they just kind of they intervened. They said,
Yeah.
Ishmael, you're gonna have to go to rehab. So I went to rehab, and this is interesting how it all unfolded. So I go to this rehab, and it's a Christian's man's home. So it's like a rehab that is like kind of like a church at the same time, where they have a pastor as a leader.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rehab in the house of God, huh?
exactly. And every morning you have Bible study. Every morning you do
Yeah.
praise, hallelujah, all that stuff.
Uh,
And so I went there and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I get to read the Bible, and I did. I took that opportunity to actually read the Bible from front to back, and I read it 3 times actually while I was there for 6 months. I read the Bible 3 times.
now
Very
is this
fascinating.
this is the New Testament, I take it.
No, both the
Oh,
old.
both. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, when I have certain ways of I could speed read things, and then I have photographic memory. So yeah, I was able to dissect the Bible pretty well. But the whole point is, there was this gentleman there in this man's home who told me that he was just there because of me. That the masters told me that you would come here, and that I had to give you some gifts and then initiate you. And I was like, well, I thought you were just the cook here for the pasture. And he was like, Well, that's what I'm posing as the cook. He wasn't there because he had a drug issue or because he was a drunk. He was there because he volunteered to help cook for the men. And
Mm,
so, but really, that was his cover. Really, he was there to give me like tons of books and teach me how to meditate. And when he told me he was going to initiate me, I was like, "What are you talking about?" At 19 years old, and somebody says, "I'm here to initiate you." You're like, "What does that? What does that mean? Initiate me?" And then he was starting like explain to me how like I'm a very old soul and that my mission here is huge and that I need to remember my purpose and who I am. And he goes, "I know you don't know who you are right now, but the Great White Brotherhood or the realm of the unseen masters know who you are." And that's why I'm here. They send me here because I needed to kind of put you and guide you in the right direction. And so he gave me like 3 boxes full of books. Like each box had at least 500 to 600 books. No kidding, Taylor. So there was about
whoa.
almost under 2,000 books. And, being a speed reader, I just went through all of them. And all those books were all about enlightenment, metaphysics, developing mind powers, anything that had to do with the supernatural,
Mm,
archaeology, anthropology, even some in like the realms of science and great discoveries and stuff. So I read everything. I read like 2,000 books in 6 months on top of reading the Bible 3 times. So yeah, that but so that person pretty much just guided me. He gave me the first book to read was called The Autobiography of the Yogi, and that's the book that really just kind of triggered me. And he kept telling me, "You're a big Buddha. You're a big Buddha. You just don't remember who you are." I'm like, "What is it? What is a Buddha?" And I kept thinking like this fat dude with like big
oh yeah.
stomach. And I was like, "No, I'm not no Buddha. Look at me. I'm thin." He goes, "Oh no, it's a metaphor.
Right.
You're a very high level being up there, and we need you to remember who you are." And so he gave me all these books. He taught me Kriya Yoga, and that was his idea of initiating me. So he taught me Kriya Yoga, and I didn't really start practicing it or took it seriously till about maybe 2 years later. But at least he taught me the techniques, and oh, by the way, now I teach that technique at the end of my course. For those that want to know about how to master Kriya Yoga, take my course. But
Yeah.
anyway, the whole point is that meditation 2 years later, when I started implementing it like on a daily basis, that's when I started connecting. That's when I started remembering, and then that's when my downloads began. But he was right. He told me from the beginning, you have a lot to do with this final war against evil. You're a big proponent, a big component in the defeat of evil in the future, and something to do with the prophecies. And I was like, all right, whatever that meant. But then I wasn't too sure. But now it's like, now I know exactly what my purpose.
Yeah.
That's how it all began for me. So yeah, in a way, he was like a mentor. He was like a father figure. Um, I kept in touch with him for like a few months after that. And then this is the thing: after I didn't hear from him for a while, I went back to the man's home, and he just disappeared. I asked the pastor what happened to him. He goes, "Oh, he just left one day," and I never heard from him since.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. My mom has a really similar story about what got her to be like a Kabbalistic scholar and a tarot card author. She was found by a gypsy in a restaurant who had told her, just this older woman, very typical, like lived in an RV, very very much what you think of when you think of a gypsy. Not necessarily, from Egypt or anything like that, but it was in California. And when my mom was sitting at like a communal table with a bunch of people because the place was filled up, my mom was with my sister, and like the woman just looked at her and said to her, like, "You're the one I've been waiting for. I've been coming here every day for a couple months waiting for you, and your whole life as you know it is about to change. You're no longer going to work in academia, you're not going to work in the social sciences, but in fact you're going to be a spiritual leader, and you're going to teach visionary cosmology and tarot and Kabbalah and all these subjects." And at first my mom thought she was, like crazy. Like, I don't, it's not my field, it's not my area. Like, I fucked around with that as a kid, but it was kind of a passing thing. Certainly didn't take it seriously as a career, but then started her like, training, like real spiritual training, and then learned all about it and started understanding the depth of it all. And, here I am now, 41 years old, carrying the torch being passed on to me and using this as a profession, which I myself never thought this would be a profession. Who really looks to spirituality as a way to build like a really sustainable career unless you reach a certain point. So somehow, I don't know, guided by the hands of fate or whatever you want to call it, here we are, you and I actually doing this stuff professionally through trauma, pain, addiction, hardship, and whatever, sorrow.
And it's all stuff that we all go through in the process of growing spiritually and
Yeah,
really aligning with our purpose and mission.
absolutely. It appeals to those who have experienced deep trauma, a lot of pain and karmic lessons in their life. So let's see. Somebody says, do you know where Valiant Thor is currently and what he's working on for the Alliance to help Earth ascend?
All right, so this is another big revelation that I'm about to, just throw out there. Okay, so all the celestial beings are now incarnated, and they are at the core of the 144,000 and at the core of the celestial starseed nations. So, which means that even the archangels, all the celestial archetypes, the 7 mighty Elohim, the 12 mighty archangelic energy forces are all in embodiment. So Michael, despite the fact that he is also non-local, he could be everywhere at once, and that's why he works with many people. He could be in multiple places at the same time, but he's also occupying an avatar, and he's working within the Alliance. And that, my friend, is Valiant Thor. Valiant Thor is the embodiment of Michael the Archangel. So I just wanted to throw that out there right now.
Wow.
And yeah, he's actually at the head of the Alliance. And when the new changeover kicks in, when they expose and eliminate the deep state, Valiant Thor is going to make his appearance with, of course, JFK Jr., Trump, and that was going to lead to first contact with what is now known as the Galactic Alliance of Free Worlds. Yeah, they changed their name due to the fact that in the last 10 months, there was an attempt to infiltrate the Galactic Federation by Enki. Yeah, Enki's back. The same guy who created all those abominations during the times of Atlantis, creating all those half monstrous, using humans genetics with animal and other creature genetics. He's back, and this time he's doing crazier things. But at the same time, the Guardians of our universe are here to combat him and make sure that he doesn't fulfill in his full infiltration of the Galactic Federation.
And in this incarnation, what form has Enki taken?
Cyborg, yeah. Now he's completely full of nanite technology to the point where his entire body is an AI simulation, creating a cyborg environment within his anatomy. So yeah, he's definitely working for Omega Metatron.
So it sounds like the spawn of Skynet, if you get Terminator references.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the negative AI timeline is heading into. So
AI, guys. AI, be careful. It's everywhere. I mean, we've welcomed it into our lives like a Trojan horse with smartphones and, the internet. And there's some ways, we'll never be able to get away from it, especially for what you and I do. We're dependent on technology, but hopefully we can transmute it, transmute it. That's the way to essentially to combat it. So, because there are amazing benefits to AI, or there's amazing benefits to modern technology in that our message in our classes are international now versus regional, and hundreds and thousands of people have already signed up for it. So it's just you have to delicate balance. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah, be careful with how much time you consume with tech. I started. There's times where I just put my phone aside, for like hours, and I don't use my laptop, and I just try to do other things because. If you're always going to be on these devices, I mean, pretty much Google's gathering all your data,
Oh, I know.
And they're also watching you, when you think you're looking at the screen, it's actually looking back.
Yep. Hey, they say in the tech world, if you can't spot the product, you are the product. So Google being free, there's a reason for that. They're harvesting your data.
Exactly.
Hacking into the catacombs of your subconscious to find out everything. Okay, so what else we got? We got a lot of stuff here. I'm skipping over. When do you think our memories will come back? I get bits and pieces, still trying to piece it all together. Also, on your ship, who is next door to you on the right? I don't know if I understand that last part. On your ship, when will memories come back? What's your answer to that?
Our galactic memories, as far as
I'm
like
assuming.
our incarnations and who we were before we became human.
I'm guessing the multiple timelines, the multiverse, all of it.
I would say that the moment the solar flash kicks in, we're going to all have access to all our memories and all our incarnations, all simultaneously. When we go from limited consciousness to full consciousness by virtue of using our 12 strands of DNA.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. It's coming, and I do believe that our body in 3D reality is the ultimate thing that keeps us from a lot of aspects of our potential in that ascension process. And I do believe that when we leave this body, at least momentarily before our next incarnation, all of all the memories of all of our lives, past and future, will come flooding back into us as we exist in this kind of disembodied luminous state. Where we return to the cosmic mind ultimately, star consciousness, and then we will, we oscillate between disembodied light consciousness and physicality, and in that evolutionary process, we go up and up and up until the two kind of merge themselves, and then the involution process happens where we go back down again, and it just goes back and forth, the infinite game for eternity.
You're exactly right. We're dealing with the eternity.
Yeah.
It boils down to it's just all energy expressing itself through various forms and various levels and degrees and manifestations. And ultimately, it's for the overall expansion of the omni mind or the universal spirit of the omniverse, which is the mind of the cosmos.
Yeah. Yeah. There are questions about this September 24th date that I hear people keep asking you about. Some are saying it may have to do with Denver or something in Germany. Thanks so much, Ishmael. So what have you heard about September 24th?
Well, I'm hearing that the solar flash might be taking place between now and the 21st or 24th of September.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's going to be anything negative. If anything, due to the fact that they took out the queen bee of the cabal, wasn't the real her, but of course the clone, right? It's metaphorically speaking, she still represented the head of the snake. Ever since then, I believe that the alliance is now in a position to bring in the new financial system. So it could be EBS, it could be those 10 days of darkness, internet shout out, no cell phones, where the alliance are, broadcasting 10 hours a day, the trials and the disclosure of what's been going on for centuries, really typically for millennium, but it's going to be fascinating. So I don't think it's going to be anything negative. If anything, I think it's going to be EBS.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you see as the new financial system? Are you talking some kind of international cryptocurrency? Are you even talking about like a regression back to the gold standard?
Back to the gold standard, backed by actual real, jewels like silver and gold and stuff, connected to the quantum financial computer, which is what they call the QFS, the new quantum financial system, and that's already in place. So I think that's what's going to be rolling out pretty soon, because the queen that just passed, which of course she wasn't really the heir to the throne of England. She was an imposter. If people really knew that her bloodline actually stemmed from Germany, and the Windsors changed their name about 400 years ago to the Windsors. They used to be called something else. I forget the actual name. Something to do with CORB, the Cobra Saxa something. It was just like a 3-word name, and you could tell that they came from Germany. And they just changed their name around in order to pose as the royalty of the British crown, when in essence, the true royals of the British crown are those that gave birth to, or Princess Diana, her lineage. And that's what those were two different opposing lineages. That's why they never got along. But many believe that even, Princess Diana faked her death, and she has been working with the White Hats from behind the scenes as the true heir to the throne, as a descendant of King David and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Wow. As opposed to a descendant of Nimrod, because, that's what distinguishes the fake, or what we call the abomination kings and queens, is that they come from the genealogy of Nimrod, which could be traceable back to Babylon.
Yeah. That makes sense. So what about the Schumann resonance? It's been off the chart for the past 9 days. Could this be leading to the 10 days of darkness? I actually don't know what the mythical 10 days of darkness is here, so I'm assuming that you do. What is the 10 days of darkness all about?
Well, hey, so it's believed that when the emergency broadcast system kicks in through Project Odin, which means the White Hats are going to take over the airwaves, televisions, radio, everything, all at the same time, spontaneously. Um,
Mm,
they're going to be for 10 days. We're not going to have any internet. We're not going to have any, you know,
right.
yeah, I guess everything's going to shut. The grocery stores, the banks, and a lot of this has to do with conducting a mass world arrest of all the key players within the shadow government structure, which are
Right.
millions. There's millions of lackeys and pawns. They start arresting them from the top down, right? So first they take out the queen, and then they take out everybody else. So that's what that means. So they call it 10 days of darkness because we're not going to be able to call people. We're not going to be able to use the internet. So, that's when they say it's good to have like 10 days of food supply and water, just because like everything's going to be shut down just for 10 days. And then of course that's after the 10-day period, that's when the new system is rolled out. And next the cabal is gone. And unfortunately, the sleeping masses are going to be shocked through cognitive dissonance. They're going to, it's going to be hard for them to digest what was just revealed. But that's when we come to comfort them. Those that are in the 10%, I would say less than 10%, right? That's us. That's how much of a minority we are. Those that are awakened, we're a little less than 10% of the world population, which is still very small. And that's when we all come into play to as comforters, as supporters of those that once perhaps called us crazy or conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. And even during currently uh, Western politics right now, U.S. and Europe, they're already starting to weaponize a limitation of resources,
Mhm.
for multiple different reasons, which is all very much tied into this war in Ukraine. And there's a lot of limitations right now on fossil fuels, and I don't even want to get too into it here on this live because I don't want our channel shut down. But let's just say food shortages, fuel shortages are definitely being used against people right now for fear tactics and for essentially the war machine. So it's a pretty, that is what I would relate to the 10 days of darkness, especially, I don't know if you've heard throughout Europe right now, but they're talking about um, a lot of difficulty coming with how to heat homes throughout this coming winter because of the limitation on fossil fuels and other types of power technology.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, somebody's asking me to share my twin flame experience. I'll tell you what. I'm teaching a class with Sarah Ashley on twin flames. That is coming up, I believe, in October. I will talk about that in that class. So, yeah, I'm going to save that one. We're going to talk more about starseed related questions right now, but I have some interesting experiences with a couple different people when it comes to twin flame. Some good, some, you know, don't know yet.
So is it possible to have more than one twin flame, or you could only have one twin flame?
I believe that so I talk about this in my class. I believe that you can have one earthbound twin flame and one etheric twin flame. Now, that is just one of those situations that I have personally experienced and have had reinforced to me by multiple people in the industry who are, considered twin flame experts and all that. I don't think it's very common, and I don't think everybody even has a twin flame. But I do think it's possible to have more than one. I do not think it's possible to have a lot, and I think it's a title that should be very, very, you should be very cautious about it. I've been studying it for like nearly 2 years now, and I'm still a bit guarded about the term because it's a very loaded term. And one of the problems with it is it can give you a false sense of entitlement to the person that you have bestowed that term upon. Okay. And when somebody who you believe is your twin flame fundamentally does not believe they're your twin flame, that is an answer that needs to be accepted. And to circumvent that, to deny their feelings on it, to try to go around it, or to try to claim any kind of rights to them or their love is highly manipulative and can possibly be very dangerous. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Any thoughts on twin flames, Ishmael?
No, when it comes to that subject, I am not as, that's your thing that you teach. I'm not
Yeah,
really, learned when it comes to twin flame.
yeah, yeah. Take our class. We'll give you the greatest hits.
Okay, I might have to just do that.
Yeah. Someone is driving to the dojo, so they're listening in their car. That's awesome. Tell us what kind of martial arts you train. I do kickboxing myself, but I'm always, I train for like 3 months here, then take 2 months off, train 3 months there. I always train at home, though. I never give up my kickboxing training at home. But yeah, COVID ruined my martial arts training. I was big into karate and Muay Thai, and then COVID hit, and I started self training for a long time, and then I've never fully gotten back into a martial arts routine since then, outside of just self training.
Well, you can still do it in the privacy of your home.
Yeah, yeah, I have my two punching bags set up, so I try to train on my own about 3 days a week. So that's
Nice.
fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do all the karate and taekwondo type kicks and all that, and of course the most famous Muay Thai roundhouse. So yeah, let's see. I was told by a few psychics that I have three twin flames, which is very rare. Yeah, I believe anything over one is like very, very, very rare. And like I said, I do not have the final answer on my twin flames. One of them, the one I was in divine union with, we are not talking. I don't think we will ever talk again. We had a really difficult breakup, and I have since, of course, tried to make amends on that, but I don't know. I think the pain is too deep. I think there's some kind of karmic trigger that could be a sign of twin flames, but it's I don't know yet. Life is long, and I'm still open to see if she ever comes back into my life. But at this point, guys, it is not looking good. And if she does not ever come back into my life, was she my twin flame? Maybe, but it was a pretty short relationship. So I'm not 100% sure. That could just be a karmic connection. I did elevate a lot in that time. It was possibly one of the most transformative times in my life. But the jury is still out on that one. I do not know. So if you're out there listening, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to send her a message right now. I doubt she would watch anyway. I think she hates me.
Well, never know.
What's that?
This is you never know. She might be just like, watching you without you noticing that she's watching you. Just to, just to see where you're at mentally.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio moon, and like I'm really good at I know who my stalkers are. Like they don't know that I know, and even if I engage people in conversation on my Instagram chats, people who DM me that I don't know, I will write questions back that seem like I'm being flirtatious, but all I'm really doing, I'm giving away all my secrets here, but all I'm really doing is sussing them out. I can offer people jobs. I can offer people, like if they want to, meet up or anything like that. But I'm not being. Trust me, I'm doing investigative work here. Because I know how to get from a hacked profile or a fake profile to if somebody's real within about 3 or 4 exchanges. And I get a lot of people who hit me up that I'm like, dude, this person's not real. This is being set up. I think this is an ex of mine, just in some disguise, and just seeing how I react. So, I don't know. How about you? Do you get the? I don't even have to ask you. I know you get tons of IG like stalker types that hit you up, and yeah. Do you want to talk anything about that? Social media world and fans and all that stuff.
I don't necessarily call them stalkers. I just, just people that want to connect with me and communicate with me pretty much. But the thing is, I get so many of them now. I get like hundreds and hundreds of DMs on all of my social media platforms. So I don't get to answer to to everyone. I only get to a few. That would pretty much required about 8 to 10 hours a day if I were to go through every single DM or email. So
yeah, I get a lot of your fan mail. I get a lot of your fan mail. It all comes to the Mystic Arts, and it's a lot. But there's some amazing stuff. You have changed a lot of people's lives. So the funny thing is about like the fan mail and those kind of connections, it's like 97, 98% of it is beautiful, it's amazing, it's inspiring, but it's that kind of 2% that is, um, kind of crazy. That's the stuff that stands out because it's memorable. People are like, "Oh, I love Ishmael's work. I love his book." Blah blah. I accept it all and just kind of go past it. And then there'll be that one person who's like, "I need to get in touch with Ishmael now. His life is in danger, and I must speak with him in person." And it's like, okay. And then they'll message again and again and say, "I know you're seeing this, Taylor. Put me in touch with them." I'm like, oh.
Oh,
Yeah, and at that point, it's like it's a little bit fun, a little bit dangerous. I'm like, at that point, I just have to ignore the person because it's like you can't engage with that. It's like you're on a level that we have things to do with our lives. You know what I mean? And this person clearly has psychiatric issues that I just don't want to be involved in.
yeah, 'cause there's no way in heck that I'm ever going to be in danger.
Yeah,
I have like the strongest security out there, which comes from the unseen dimensions and the unseen realms, which is the most effective security and protection that exists. Trump walks with his own personal bodyguards and secret police or whatever it's called, right? Secret service. Well, I
yeah,
work with legions of angels, archangels, and just masters and helpers and galactics that are just constantly working to protect me and stuff. And I'm even monitored. It turns out that I have a ship. There's always a ship that follows me everywhere I go, and I can sense it. So I am being protected on every level. You know,
think I'm gonna start working even harder. I'm gonna double down on my protective shield because I've been way too open. I'm a generous person. I'm like a giving person. It's one of my what do you call it? Like love languages. I like to give to people. Not gifts, but I like to truly help them, give people opportunities and things like that. And I think I often it's I do it too soon. I do it without discernment, and I don't read a lot of the signs sometimes that would tell me that I have to be a little more judicious on who I give my love to. So I'm learning that lesson, and I'm starting to become more protective because I'm overly trusting.
makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna siphon a little bit of protection off your guardianship there.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. Okay, so someone asked, in regards to our consciousness, do you believe it is possible that some of us have already lived in previous lives in other future galaxies? Andromeda, for example. Previous lives in future galaxies like Andromeda.
Yes, correct. Because technically the future is already happening. So there are versions of us that exist in the future that are actually trying to communicate with us here in the present or at the hub of all reality, all probabilities. As I mentioned before, we're at the hub of both future and past and every possible outcome. So I would say that yeah, it's possible. It's possible that many of us are receiving some sort of communication from versions of ourselves that come from the future.
Yeah, I agree.
And also something to consider is that the higher we go in dimensions, the more future, that is the future. The lower dimensions is like the past. The higher dimensions, is the future. So as we ascend, we're actually going into the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Okay,
Well, that we've already descended in this process of involution. So we started from the future, and we kind of devolved into the past, and now we're like going back.
hmm hmm Earth partner, soul partner who we agree to share Earth lives with. Earth partner, I haven't heard it put that way before. That could be my twin flame number one. Now, I don't have the results yet. I often talk about cosmic perspective versus human perspective. Human perspective is that this person broke my heart this month or this year. My life is horrible. Woe is me, right? Divine perspective is like the chain of events that led to over the next 2 years caused you to completely transform your life into a place of just mediocrity or whatever into a place of great success. And had that person not left you or broke it off with you, 18 months ago, it wouldn't have started that journey of activation, of spiritual activation, of, the ascension process. So when we're caught up in the moment, especially, heartbreak, which is extremely visceral, it can be debilitating. It can put us in a very dark, depressed, even emotionally catatonic state. You have to realize that there is a journey that is taking place here that will only make sense over time when you have this kind of divine point of view on all of it, where you can see how the chain of events unfolded to get you where you are, and how lessons from past lives were actually learned and ultimately healed through that process. So I'm in that process now where I'm going through a lot of shifts. I've lost a lot of people in my life. Over this past year, I think I've lost like 8 major people in my life. Not to death, some to death, but others to other types of circumstances. But I've never experienced more success in my life. And the success ascension keeps on happening. And I'm not even just talking about financial success, which is only a tiny, tiny measure. I'm talking about spiritual, intellectual, mental, emotional success, as well as financial success. So something is actually happening right now, and I'm trying to figure that out, because overall, I'm not feeling like 100%, but the ascension process is still happening, and it's still taking me with it. So I'm like, okay, well, clearly something is going well, because like on one hand, I feel a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of depression. On another hand, I feel like I'm taking over the world right now. So it's a mixed bag. How do you feel? How do you feel these days? How do you feel on a day-to-day basis? And forget cameras are here. Just walk me through. Like, do you wake up excited, happy? What's your mind state like?
Wake up in gratitude every morning.
Yeah.
I give thanks that I'm here, I'm alive. I give thanks for everything, the success of my book, the fact that there's people out there who like to listen to me, that to me, I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose. So yeah, all day long, I'm just thankful and gratitude. And really, I'm just mindful. And every second when I walk my dog, I notice the smallest little things, a hummingbird or butterfly, a squirrel going up the tree. And I just kind of try to analyze everything and just be absorbed in the moment. So, that's just my day today. I like to always be in the presence.
It's like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, just experiencing life in the present as it's happening in real time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get there. I will admit, I'll be the first to admit I struggle with that. I have always had a very active imagination, and I've had very ambitious goals as far back as I can remember. So there's always something new to conquer. There's new, hurdles to overcome. There's always somewhere in the future that I'm trying to aspire to get to. But the reality is, as you know, which sounds like you've done a better job of mastering it than I have, that there really is no such thing as the future.
There isn't.
It's just now. The
Yeah,
future, and I try my best to come back to that, even through meditation and through concentration, and also through no mind itself, trying to not think about it. But I do, that is one of my weaknesses. So trying to slow down and just exist.
Sometimes you just have to relax and do nothing and just take a few hours to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't forget to breathe.
What is that?
Oh, don't forget to breathe, to, be in the presence of your breath.
Yeah, I know. I've always,
Moments, yeah.
that's an interesting segue, because someone's asking me about my sarcoidosis, and I've had a problem with breathing for a long time. So yeah, this person, I have it also. Oh, it's in my lungs and throughout my body. I do know what it is, and I know it's called poisoning agent. Oh, Agent Orange. So it sounds like this person actually had a biological, some kind of biological or chemical weapon that triggered it for them, which sarcoidosis is very mysterious because they don't really know the cause of it. So it can be exposure, absolutely, but sometimes these things just, spontaneous generation, they just come out of nowhere For me, I truly believe, here you go. I believe I got sarcoidosis because I was not living my life purpose. So I believe it came in the form of a very, like a fatal savior, you know? It's like trying to get me back on track and nothing would work. You know, I like would medicate through drugs and alcohol and just a lifestyle that was very unhealthy. And the only thing that would get me to react, because I'm such a stubborn person, is that I had to be medically compromised to finally look out the window of a hospital bed and re-examine my entire life and ultimately build this business right now with you that people are seeing. The antecedents, the precursor, the origin of all this began with me in a hospital bed on my laptop dealing like with this kind of near fatal disease. So, you know, that was 2019. This is all pretty recent stuff.
Sometimes that happens to us as a catalyst to realign us with our true purpose in life. And I think
Yeah.
that's what happened that day when you were in the hospital. It's almost like something in you just clicked, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm meant to do greater than just work at a hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I was at the time I was 36 years old working full time at a hotel. Just, you know, I had dreams, I had, you know, motivation, all that, but I was, my day job, the center of my life sucked. You know what I mean? It's like there, you can be a writer, you can be an actor, you can be a model, you can be all these type of things, all these, a musician, an artist. But if at the center of your life, there's this 9 to 5 type job that is eating your soul, it's going to be very hard to accomplish any of those more creative things. All those things I was pursuing, by the way, because so much time is given over to something that is ultimately destroying you, you know? And I will speak very harshly about working a job that you absolutely hate. I do believe it is a soul devouring process, and that this whole idea, the whole American capitalistic concept of like working this, and it's not even a 9 to 5, it's an 8 to 6, working that and then hustling on the nights and the weekends is a horrible, horrible business model, because that is, you're surrendering your entire waking consciousness to the pursuit of making money, you know, where what you should be doing, like what Ishmael and I, you know, we don't work that much. We live, and we have created a product, you know, where we can live in our truth, live in our power, live in these, in this philosophical state that we talk about, while we have figured out to kind of circumvent the system and create this livelihood that doesn't require our, you know, our blood contract, you know?
Well, I mean, technically, I still work a lot, but I do what I like to do best, you know.
Which
Doing,
isn't work though, you know?
you know, it's doing, it's bringing information to the world, and
Right.
I don't see it as work, you know, but I am very busy. From the moment I get up, it's like my whole day is planned. I either have 2 to 3 interviews on that day, and then all these other people reaching out that want to interview me. So I'm constantly, you know, responding on the email, setting up dates, scheduling things. While I'm doing 2 to 3 interviews a day, but lately it's slowed down for me because I'm just kind of taking some time off. You know, I've been kind of, you could say, overworking myself in the last 3 months, and not sleeping a lot. So in the last week or two, I kind of just slow down, and I'm just, you know, taking it easy, just to kind of get my full rest at night and really just recuperate, you know, so that way I don't overdo it and overwhelm myself with too much work.
Yeah.
Besides the 2 to 3 interviews I was doing for like 3 months straight, I was like, you know, I'm working on another book. So, you know, that takes time, you know, a few hours a day. And then you know, twice a week I teach my class with you. And then on top of that, you know, I try to answer DMs. So it's like my whole day is related to what I like to do best, you know, which is bring forth
Right.
information and pretty much connect with people that are like-minded from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, it's a lot of work. Like for the Mystic Arts, there are hundreds and hundreds of emails that I have to respond to, and Sarah helps those too. But all of that is built around something. The foundation of that is love, is passion. It's a message for, you know, the 5D ascension of this planet. And
Mhm.
to me, all of that, even the emails, even building the website, even, you know, posting the classes, it's all part of something that I believe in. So it has an entirely different vibration to it. than punching a clock, doing something you hate with the majority of your time, with the majority of your life existence, you know? And I think that just wears on people. And I think that's why people die of heart attacks at like, age 68, it's like when I believe you and I will probably be in pretty good shape when we're that age if my sarcoidosis doesn't get any worse, But I don't know. Like we should be living happy life. Our twilight years, the older years of our life, should be very satisfying. Like to kind of reflect on this life well lived and standing in our power on work that we've created.
Well, my belief is that we're not going to age. We're going to
Yeah.
rest looking 30 when our bodies are transformed into a galactic humanoid.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
come to this earth to age and be old. I came to this earth to transform to an immortal,
Yeah.
like the other star seeds. When the time has come. Well, that time is almost here.
Yep. Yeah, somebody said I quit a job after 21 years that took my light. I quit and never looked back. Yeah, I can tell you, as somebody who has been in a hospital bed, like reflecting on life, I never thought one time about my job of 14 years at a hotel. Wasn't even a passing thought outside of what the hell was I doing there? you know? Somebody asked about star seeds in there. Okay, what's the history or origin of the white, black, and Asian races? And I'm assuming, maybe I'm projecting this, but I'm assuming they mean the cosmic history of it, how it relates to the different starseed races.
Yeah, well, skin color, it really doesn't mean anything. It's really about how advanced the soul is. The different races, represented by the different, I guess, groups, racial groups, um, exists throughout the entire multiverse. We have everything that we have here on the Earth, as far as like skin type, features, is an amalgamation of all the different humanoids that exist in many, many worlds throughout not only our universe, but other universes. So, like I said in some of my interviews, and like I've been, teaching, we are the melting pot of the entire multiverse. So that's why we have the greatest diversity in features, skin color, and then everything in between.
Yeah, yeah. And there can be a racial correlation between some of the starseed origins, but it's not as direct as you would think. Like Pleiadian often relates to more likely to Northern European, whereas Arcturian can be Egyptian or Northern African or Middle Eastern. But that it's not a perfect correlation. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And then of course Syrians are like Mediterranean, bronze skin, Israeli, Arabic, Greek, Italian, So yeah, I mean, it's just, we carry the we carry the best of all humanoid species out there in one spot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Crystal in blood. I love that. Let's see. There's a lot of interesting questions here. I'm going to go back up. We'll do about two more because we're going to wrap it up at 7 o'clock. Someone is so grateful that they found both of us. I like that. Usually they say, I'm so grateful I found you, Ishmael. Let's see.
Glad they acknowledge you as well, Taylor.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, guys. Little shout out. I just purchased our Cosmic Origin. There's a lot of just people saying just nice things. That's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we love you guys too. I just wanted to shout out to all the supporters out there and the star seeds that are, resonating with my work. I do believe that we are going to all meet physically soon, and we're all going to be working together in the new Earth. So, we're already starting this rapport, this relationship via technology, but eventually we're all going to, link up and work together in the future, near future rather.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're aware that at the Mystic Arts, we're trying to create a spiritual movement here. This is about a lot more than just teaching classes. This is ultimately about, recruitment. So, yeah, if you guys haven't taken, I assume most people on here have taken the Starseed Cosmology course, but continue to take it again. And Sarah and I just sold out the Starseed Astrology course. So,
Nice.
yeah, 100 people. So we posted another one today for October 25th. So yeah, that's just a 1 day. It's only $44, guys. Starseed Astrology. I believe we're the only place on planet Earth where you can take a course on starseed astrology. And at this point, the three of us are kind of the sort of the architects of the subject in general, because when Sarah was researching online to even put the course together, she found so little out there on starseed astrology that she basically had to make it up as an astrologer. So this is a subject unique to the mystic arts. So please join us on October 25th, or if you're already in the class, on September 28th. We'll see you there, and we're excited about it.
I'm just trying to figure out my lighting here. I normally don't have good lighting in the evening, so I think I'm gonna have to get some like those,
Oh
white
yeah,
lights, just beam on you.
I'll forward you the construction lights I get from Amazon, which I believe are better than the photography lights because they're very portable. But I'll just forward you the links. Let's just do one more. Are you good with just one more question, then we'll wrap it up?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, hi. Is it possible that some of us can hear people asking for help from the dark timeline? I'm reading just verbatim. They somehow woke up or realized that there is a hope to be free. Hope Ishmael understands my question. I think I understand. Do you fully understand that question? Can they? Okay, go ahead.
The answer to that is yes. Yes, because as we are becoming genetically upgraded, our perception, our clairvoyance, our clairsentiency is expanding. I mean, sorry, it's enhancing. So we're becoming more in tune with other dimensions and other parallel realities. So yeah, it is very possible that you could be hearing that, because you are becoming more multidimensional as we become more activated.
I see. Yeah, with activation, that's the great power that comes great responsibility. A lot happens, a lot changes. The more spiritually activated you become. Okay, we'll do one more question, and we will wrap it up there. With Rh positive blood, can you still be a starseed / a light worker?
Absolutely. Yes. Big time. Yeah. So the star seeds are incarnating in both blood types. You don't necessarily have to be Rh negative to be a star seed, indigo wanderer. You could also be Rh positive. The only difference is that the Rh negative come from the pure undiluted lineage that could be traceable back to the guardians, or the seraphim rather, the descendants of Michael the Archangel.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, if for anybody listening out there, somebody is asking if there's any cancellations for the October class. So for all those listening for cancellations ever, hopefully a lot of people hear this. 3 days before the class starts, usually we have about 3 or 4 people cancel. So 3 days before the class starts, actually, I'm sorry, 2 days. The class is on a Sunday. Oh man, I'm ruining it. Not on a Sunday. The class is on a Wednesday. So that Monday, 2 days before the class starts, say it one more time, I repost the class with about 3 open spots. And so I will try to do it at a specific time. I'll post it on like Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That class starts October 5th, Wednesday, October 5th. So that Monday, October 3rd, I will post it. It'll for 3 spaces. It'll probably only be on our website for about 45 minutes, and it fills up. But that's the process. So 2 days before the class starts, I just repost for the couple people that have canceled, and whoever fills it up. So a lot of people email me if I know there's going to be cancellations. I just don't know. I just don't know until the class is almost here. And then I look and I see that we're short a couple people, and then I'll repost it. So look for it always on the Monday before a new class starts. That's when it'll be reposted with a couple open positions. So that's it, Ishmael. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll let you close it out. But I really appreciate it, guys. This is always fun to do the Mystic Warrior and kind of take questions in a more casual format, a little bit different than our courses where a little more formalized. So thank you, everybody. Amazing questions. And Ishmael, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, just to let you guys all know that all of these YouTube, I guess, channels that are opening up under my name aren't mine. I actually posted a link to my real YouTube channel, which I'm going to start using more in the in my bio on my Instagram for those that want to subscribe to my official and my real YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. I'm only going to have it up there for a few days. So make sure you get subscribed before I take it down. All right, guys. But yeah, I'm going to start using my YouTube channel a little bit more. I'm going to start putting more content on there. And yeah, just to let you guys know, all these other channels are not mine. But, in a way, they're giving me more publicity. They're putting out all my information in one spot where people could actually access every interview. And so there are pros and cons to that, but I guess the con is that I'm not making any money off that. They are. The pro is, they are pushing my book and they are pushing my interviews. So I'm neutral when it comes to that, but I still believe these guys should have reached out to me and worked something out before they went ahead and used my content and my material to make their money.
You made it when people are impersonating you. So, but yeah, at the same time, it sucks because it's not you and it's not going to you. So, but anyway, guys, cool. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there. Have a good night, Ishmael. Thank you for joining.
Peace out, brother.
All right. Good night.